Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Sky coming onto YouTube today to talk to you guys about the Mercury and Venus retrogrades we're currently having in the sign of Pisces. I will put the dates below in the description box for exactly what's happening. But tentatively, we have this Mercury retrograde in Pisces until the middle of April, and then the Venus retrograde in Pisces lasts the entire month. So this is kind of a context that we're having really strongly in the first 2 weeks of April 2025, but continuing through the rest of the month. And, when Mercury and Venus are retrograde together in the same sign, I feel like it's a really important sign because these are both visible planets. And also, being that Neptune just changed signs from like Pisces to Aries, and now Venus and Mercury have gone back into Pisces, I feel like that's quite significant. And I wanted to just have a stream of consciousness on my channel today about coming back to our own states of significance during this, holding space for ourselves, and getting through this time, having solved quite a few problems and not getting lost in confusion and ambiguity, like is very possible right now. So yeah, if the video resonates, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and just check out the description box. This channel is on Patreon. All of the April 2025 sign by signs are available there now if you wanted to get some extra information about what's going on for your sign this month. But yes, let's talk about this double dose Piscean retrograde. So I feel that people are right at a threshold here. They are not wanting to stay in this current context much longer. I do feel that Neptune moving into Aries, which I do have a video about coming soon, Neptune in Aries is causing people to really start to romanticize a new frontier, and they're going to start orienting themselves to totally different connotations, and they're going to get out of a lot of these familiar spaces. However, we have this full month of April where we get kind of pulled back and we have to do a little bit of retrospective with these retrogrades about, what happened last year and to a greater degree since 2011 or 2012, as that's how long Neptune was in Pisces, was since then. So I wanted to just kind of confirm for you all today, if you've been curious, that now is a really good time to sort of organize your past or to do a bit of record keeping as well. We are in Aries season, which is usually not the best time for that. But with these Pisces retrogrades, I feel like there's a bit of an extension. So, if there's something that you've needed to do that you needed more time to complete, now is a great time to embark that. And I think one of the most important things that I can talk about today is cleaning up the experience a little bit. So I feel that as we entered into the final chapter of 2024, specifically the November 2024 to February 2025 timeline, I feel that things got quite messy for a lot of people. We had those Jupiter, Mercury, mutual reception debilitated oppositions, which I did make a video about. If you guys want to check the description box below, I'll link it there. But that was one of the most chaotic energies I'd felt in a long time. We had all of that message coming up about dissolution of matrix, and a lot of the circuitry got really switched up during that time, as you had a lot of like social systems and, sort of, I guess, what people like to call the sausage factory kind of context, like not knowing how things are made, not knowing how things are produced. But like there were a lot of changes happening from November to February on like how the financial system operates, how how the greater systems and greater matrices function. Now, a lot of that is kind of in the unseen world, and I feel that it does kind of follow a similar line as some of the more like cosmic paradigm shifts that we've been going through. So this double retrograde that we have of Mercury and Venus in Pisces, it's going to, I think, give us the chance to calibrate some of the things that went a bit wonky from November to February. And it's going to be a very important time to understand how we're working with time. Okay, so like time and our greater timeline, okay, like 5-year goals, 10-year goals, cleaning up the timeline, making sure that our sequencing is right, okay, is huge right now. And for some people, they may have to basically spend a lot of time just resting or napping or sleeping. I feel like there's a catching up on rest kind of energy coming in with this double retrograde. And I also feel that people just need, silent space as much as they can. And sometimes people need to pull out of certain conflicts or withdraw. I am seeing withdrawals, okay? I'm getting that word very strongly. Maybe like a withdrawal of an investment, maybe a withdrawal from a conflict. And I'm seeing like a more silent enforcement of boundaries coming in with these retrogrades. And I'm seeing that people want to give themselves back more of their own time and more of their own resources. So this also feels to me like a recession. This feels like a downward growth trajectory because people want their resources for themselves. It's like recalling. Like I'm seeing like maybe a diplomatic recalling or a like something that has been delegated or something that has been invested is like coming back out. So it's like, the waves go in and then they come back out. We're definitely in a coming back out phase right now. So yeah, you might see like declines in your investment accounts during this time. You might also see like lower paychecks or something kind of like receding. This could also, hopefully pull down inflation a little bit because I do sense like consumer spending will really go down. And I just feel like people at the same time may get something for themselves. So that could mean consumer spending, but I think it also means I feel like it means that people want experiences and not items. So I feel like travel may begin to increase. I feel like people will also begin to use public spaces more, and I'm sensing migrations and border crossings in new areas. So, like, not where we're accustomed to seeing it, but I'm seeing people go places they've never been. I'm seeing people thought that they would be in one specific area, but now there's an area that they never conceived of before that's very attractive to them. Or they have like a friend or some kind of even relationship or something that beckons them to an unforeseen territory. So there are like these unforeseen detours here, also leaks of time, money, and energy. And I do recommend beginning to stabilize and structure things better because coming out of this late Neptune in Pisces, there's a lot of deterioration. Okay, there's a lot of failed sequencing, there's a lot of attention deficit, and also a lot of weakness of the body and the bodily systems. So try to consider this as like now that Neptune's moving into Aries, and once we get Mercury and Venus both moving back into Aries after these retrogrades are over, a lot of the focus is going to be about making structures more stable. A lot of the focus is going to be about a stronger body, a stronger core, stronger houses. Okay. So, like, if imagine like rundown houses or deteriorated structures, I'm sensing like people really investing in the structures in their lives, so like maybe like new roofs for their houses or like new flooring or something, as it feels like the protective structures, right, like a roof or walls, are going to be reinforced here, and also like the same with the body, so like the immune system or the skin or the fascia, okay, really being focused on, as I feel like there's weakness across the board in all of these structural protective elements, which could also mean like a weaker aura. It could also mean like a sort of like quantum destructive energy. So like we might have odd experiences during this Mercury and Venus retrograde in Pisces. Good to stay safe, good to keep things kind of in a zone that you're familiar with, because I am seeing kind of like just weird scenarios. For example, someone that you thought you'd never relate with again can come back in. I'm having people, so many people come in and tell me, like, my ex is reaching out to me, old friends are reaching out to me. And this is not what this is about, you all. Like, these are kind of like red herring experiences. Closure makes sense here, but like, this is not something that is going to keep yielding for very long. Like, I feel like you can have closure, but I also feel that it's just not what this time is about, because like it's interesting here to see how people have changed, and it's interesting here to see that this person used to be a certain way, and like people can be like almost like a same person, different soul kind of feeling sometimes when you connect with people. Not in all cases, but it's just weird. Okay, it's weird to reconnect here. It's weird to move back into a house that you used to live before, but I'm seeing some people try to cue these types of situations up. It's like, imagine like moving out of an apartment complex and then like 3 years later moving back to that same apartment complex, like leaving the family home, then moving back into it. I mean, it can work for some people. Um, and it's actually likely that some people go through something like that, but I don't feel like the, it's, it feels kind of like an emergency to me if something like that is happening. It feels like a collapse, or it feels kind of like a very strong need to get back into the structural elements of our life. And one of the things we're really going to be seeing is like how superficial some of the structures that we have going on are. So, for example, a type of job or income that's so superficial that, like, not having that like sends you straight back to your family home, or not having that causes such an implosion to the degree that you really have to rely on some kind of social structure and not an autonomous one, or like your independence being threatened, for example, by the loss of a job, or your independence being threatened by even like the need to upkeep a certain lifestyle, again, a certain superficial kind of circuit board in your life, or it's some people just need to like take time off from work here. Some people need like a sabbatical. Some people, and this may happen also at the end of this year, where it's like people have to get out from under it, but they can't because they have like these huge bills, or these their independence is coming at such a high cost that it really keeps them in chain to certain like work habits. So like that may be something that we need to focus on here as one of the main things that was coming up. If you guys remember, in late 2024 was that like resolution of anomaly energy, and I do feel like that could reassert itself here. And I do feel like a lot of people have some kind of anomaly going on in their life where it's like, on one hand, this job or this business gives me independence, but on the other hand, it's kind of such a chaotic factor that, like, you know, my independence depends on it. And at the same time, like, it depends on me. So there's kind of like, how independent is that, like illusion of independence, mirage of independence. That's going to be very profound to see during this time and to analyze in your life experience if you've got anything going on like that. And something to change the direction of this reading, I want to talk about some of the positive stuff going on with these retrogrades of Mercury and Venus and Pisces. So, emotional cleansing. Cleansing your brain. Okay, brainwashing. I'm kidding. Yeah, that could be happening here too. Watch out for the marketing and the advertising and brainwashing, Mercury retrograde in Pisces. But on the positive, like when you sleep really well, your brain like washes itself, so it like cleanses itself and resurfaces and renews itself. That could be really good here. So like restorative sleep, restorative spa treatments, restorative like sauna, sweating things out, detoxing, parasite cleanse, beautiful during this time. Um, Beginning to clean up your diet, okay? Maybe not beginning, but like finalizing it. Finalizing a new clean diet, simple ingredient list. This is one of the most powerful sections of the South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces, as the Mercury and Venus retrograde is going to show us clearly all of the components that are not doing us good. For example, a sodium-rich diet. Enjoy having a very swollen face and bloating, and it's so easy to like reduce that here and just like feel like your body go back to normal, to reduce that excess spending and deflate, the body and the bank account. And it's just like so easy actually to really institute something that moves the needle, like some kind of like herbal tincture, some kind of cleansing factors, some kind of simple meal, okay, like a recipe. Finding recipes that work for you, getting mixtures right, getting proportions right, getting your wardrobe right, wardrobe updates, diet updates, knowing what you don't like anymore, like those, like say for example, 2/3 of your closet doesn't fit you right and like makes your skin feel itchy. Get rid of that stuff. I mean, maybe replace it first, so like so that you can leave the house if you need to, you know. But like, yeah, I'm sensing that people have outgrown a lot of what used to work for them. So I'm seeing people need to invest in themselves a little bit, but like be very mindful about it, and you may have to like return some stuff. It may be trial and error, okay? But like ultimately, I think that we have to like follow through for ourselves and like just get it right. So like even if you have to return things like 3 or 4 times, or you have to, you know, go back and forth until you get the perfect fit, like the perfect bedding, the perfect fitting clothing, the perfect recipe. Like, don't get discouraged if, like, for the very first time that you cook a healthy recipe, you know, it doesn't taste good. It may take a few times practicing, but like, keep going for yourself. Keep your endurance ready, and don't get discouraged if things don't like work out the first time, because like we have to tailor a life experience for ourselves here, I feel. And I also feel that living well is the best form of revenge, okay? And living poorly with a bunch of malfitting experiences is just hard to justify. So, rest, clean the mind up, clean the body up, get the proportions right, and give yourself grace during this time. Give yourself time to think, give yourself time to rest, and don't settle for things that don't fit you, okay? Anyway, everyone, thank you so much. Do check out the description box below. Check out my Patreon page, as I have weekly forecasts as well as all 12 of the sign by signs for April. And thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes here on YouTube. Have a beautiful April, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.